What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Dr. Ray here. Got some stuff to talk about, give y'all an update about things that have been going on in my life since I did my last video, which was, let's see, when did I do my last one? November 28th. So about a week and a half ago. So let's talk. Oh, yeah, I did it like the Friday of Thanksgiving. I think that was when I did it. So yeah, tons of stuff has been happening since then. I think I told you guys some updates. So let's talk about, first thing, let's talk about some stuff happening in my life, personal. We're going to go into a bunch of different stuff going on in my head, things I've been doing. So first of all, as I might have mentioned to y'all, I did mention this on my Random Access Monologues show. So my parents and family all got together for Thanksgiving. Me and the kids and Becca, we all stayed away and actually stayed where we live. We didn't go visit them, but they all got together, and CDC warned people about getting together. Lo and behold, the day my brother was leaving my parents' house, he came down with COVID. He's better, and his wife and son also got it. His son had no symptoms, and then last Saturday, which was 7 full days after my brother had left at my parents' house, my mom came down with it. And then on Monday evening, my dad came down with it. So both parents got COVID. Fortunately, both had mild cases in that none of them had a fever. My dad's temp did go up to 99 over the first night, but that was it. They both had congestion, and my mom had a headache. Otherwise, they seem both, I think they're better. They both went for a walk last night, and they both slept well 2 nights ago, so I think that's they're getting better and on the mend. So they both had mild cases, which is kind of interesting. And seems like, turn this light down a little bit. So it seems like they did really well and both did good, and had mild cases and all that good stuff. So anyway, so that's good. That's been going on. You can see I'm in my home office today. My computer's all around me. I'm actually using my phone to record this. I got my green sheet that I usually have in front of my computer and stuff. This computer's still loaner computer. So my computer's still broken from the university, and I've been waiting now almost 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks to get it fixed. It stinks because what happened was, first of all, there was the Thanksgiving break. Well, first of all, the first problem was the tech guy had to quarantine for a week. Then we had Thanksgiving. Then, for some odd reason, when we purchased my computer from Dell and Alienware, the warranty got messed up. So we did purchase a warranty for 5 years, but for some reason it didn't get recorded right into the system. So it took about 2 weeks for that to happen. And now due to COVID, Dell isn't taking computers back, so they have to send the parts to my tech guy who's going to repair it himself. So hopefully that can happen soon enough, because it kind of stinks not having my own computer. This computer's nice. It is a nice Alienware computer, but it's got some issues with it, and I want to have my computer. It doesn't have all my settings and everything just on it. It's kind of a pain. So I am lucky that I do, and I have computers galore here that I am borrowing right now because I don't have my computer, and I always need to have two just in case if something happens like it did. So fortunately I had one. I had to go back to school and get another one. All right. So that's stuff happening. That's some personal stuff. I guess I got some more personal stuff going on. We'll talk about that too. So my semester has concluded over the last, so it officially ended on Wednesday, but I'm still kind of going and answering questions, and we're still finishing things up. I guess virtual graduation is tomorrow. I'm not sure what that is, how that works, but it's actually kind of cool. I much prefer a virtual graduation because I've never been a fan of going to big crowded places. I guess I don't know if that's my anxiety or I just don't like people. No, it's not it. I like people, and I do like going to concerts and stuff. I don't know. It's always tough to go to a graduation for some reason. It's great. I like celebrating the students and everything, and I'm so happy for them. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like going to graduation. So it's virtual this year. And trust me, I'd rather be going to graduation or doing anything than having to deal with COVID. So, reminded me of graduation in school. So what's been happening is, so our school board, I want to talk a lot about my kids for a second. So my kids right now, they're in school today, They have been going to school 2 days a week, as I've said before in some of my other videos. They've been going to school for 2 days a week. So basically what this means is they will do virtual Monday and Tuesday. Everyone does virtual Wednesday, and then my kids go Thursday, Friday. And certain kids go Monday, Tuesday, certain kids go Thursday, Friday. It's just based on your last name, they split it in half. So there's like, between 7 and 10 kids in each class so they can social distance. So far, it's been working out really well, that model. And some other schools around me are just going full-time all the time. And that's been working really well for them. Unfortunately, cases have significantly increased in my area. And my school board decided the other day that they are going to go to the full-time model. And it's very strange because they've been saying all along, we're going to wait until cases go down to go full-time. And now cases are actually up and they decided to go full-time. So it's the timing is very odd, to say the least. And we're not sure what we want to do. Like, we haven't been exposed yet. And I feel like in society, some people are just at the point where they're just done with this. They're so sick of it. And it's kind of crummy because it's like the vaccine's on the horizon. Like, it's literally coming to my county tomorrow or something like that. I mean, not for me, but for medical staff and elderly and nursing homes. But it's just strange that it's like we're giving up at the end. We're like at the finish line. It's like, if you were like running a race, like let's say you're running like a mile, the race, and the last 100 meters, you just decide to start walking. That's essentially what I feel like is happening here. We're at the last 100 meters and we decided to just give up. Like, let's just move on from this. And it's like, no, let's be a little careful for the next 2 to 3 months and get the vaccine to everybody and slowly start like getting back to normal. I completely understand why businesses want us to be back to normal, because unfortunately what happened is as the government closed or shut down or hurt businesses during this to protect the public, they didn't compensate those businesses for that. So like, when you open a business or start any kind of business, like a reasonable risk isn't that the government's going to shut down society. Like, that's not a risk that you need to run into. So when our government does something like that, they need to... I have no problem with the government shutting things down to protect us. But when you do that, you also have to say, we're going to give you that money that you're losing so that, you don't lose your business, your house, your mortgage, people aren't losing jobs and all that good stuff, right? So if you say to bars, well, you have to close down at 9 p.m., then somehow we need to figure out how much those bars made between 9 and 2 a.m. and pay them that money. When we want to close down gyms, fine, I'm fine with that. But say to the gym, how much are you making per month? Here's that money, so that you can keep your employees, you can keep all the stuff the same, so we're not, society doesn't fail. That's what our government should have been doing from the beginning. Reminded me of our government and getting us off this COVID talk. So, oh man, this just annoys me. So if you've been paying attention, there's been a big discussion about, and especially with Twitch, and people playing music. Lots of like the music rights. It's like we're back to the days of Napster, right? And what people have been doing is Twitch went ahead and have been blocking or taking off all videos where people were playing music. Because a lot of people, when they game, they have music playing in the background. I do. Depending on the game, I might have music playing in the background. The thing is, when someone's sitting here in front of the computer streaming, and they might have music playing in the background as well while they stream, they're talking, it's not like someone's sitting there listening to the song, they're hearing pieces of it, but someone's talking over it. The problem is there's a lot of gray area here, and there's all kinds of copyright issues. And so Twitch just went ahead and started taking down some of those videos and making it more clear to users. And I can understand some of that. I wish the music industry was a little more friendly with that. But I can see when there's like money, when they can point it to money being lost because people are listening to it on Twitch, then I think maybe there's an issue. But the problem is so this, of course, for of course, there is a senator who has put together a bill that would make, you know, streaming music on Twitch or something like that an actual felony with jail time. Um, of course, that's senators from North Carolina. Just absolutely ridiculous. The problem with this is, first of all, it's a really simple thing to do by mistake. And when I say by mistake, I mean these copyright laws are changing all the time. And it is not that they're changing all the time, but the tech is kind of moving ahead of copyright and ahead of the courts. So we don't necessarily know what you don't necessarily know what the laws are. Like I'm a professor and I'm in tech, and I can't necessarily keep up with what you should and shouldn't be doing. Um, Let alone like a 13-year-old kid who's sitting there streaming. And how would the parents don't know? And if you watch like YouTube or any YouTuber or Twitch streamer or anything, there's all kinds of stuff happening on the screen. And to say like you can't emulate this because that's what they want, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, it becomes an art. They're trying to make their own videos and post them and get likes and stuff. They're not trying to steal something. So to say that this is a felony is very extreme. To say do YouTube and Twitch need to have AI that tracks stuff and people will have to request reviews and stuff, I can be okay with that. I think that blanket bannings with AI and stuff like that are a little harsh unless they're serious allegations. You know, one of the biggest things that I run into is that there's not usually people to talk to when there are problems, so it's very difficult. They're blanket AI programs that go through and will wipe things out. So I do think that you can't have some kind of penalty when someone's a 15-year-old kid is making a stream and there's music playing in the background. That's not a felony. That's absolutely ridiculous. Should Twitch is there some way for Twitch to contact users and maybe have training videos of what's copyright, what's not, and maybe say, hey, we can't play this video, or we need to, what YouTube does sometimes is YouTube will actually replace a song for you. You can click like replace all copyrighted material, and they'll replace it for you because you just didn't know. And their AI is really bad, actually. So let me give you an example of bad AI on YouTube. So when I was doing some stuff with Halo on YouTube, like I could probably this video get flagged for it actually, just by talking about Halo, Sony Music will request a copyright violation of your video, and they can pause your video for like up to a week while YouTube reviews the video because apparently Beyonce created some song about Halo or called Halo. I don't know. I don't keep up with new music that much, so I don't really know. And so any mention of the word Halo in a video is a potential flag by Sony Music's AI. And Sony Music is powerful enough just to stop all videos that say Halo in them. So it's kind of crazy. But I've had it happen to several videos now where I've had to plead to saying Sony Music doesn't own anything that I'm talking about. What I'm talking about came out before Sony Music's Halo thing. But it's something to pay attention to and to be aware of. There is a bill right now. It's like has to be decided on like today about whether playing some kind of music on Twitch is a or any social media is a felony or not. Just a little crazy to me. Okay, so there's that. Another thing that I've been finding interesting that's been happening in the world is watching and I talked about this yesterday in my show, Random Access Monologues with my fellow peers. We talked about it, but just the IPO and stock market boom has been fascinating to watch. So just recently, both DoorDash and Airbnb have IPO'd, and if you're not familiar with that, that just basically means like they became public where people can buy their stock all of a sudden. Airbnb IPO'd yesterday, and their stock is up to 145 or something like that. It went up like $75 or something like that, which is crazy. And it'll drop back down, but it's interesting because these companies are losing millions of dollars a year, and to think like, so are we? People are investing into a company that's losing many millions of dollars a year now. the hope is that those companies eventually become profitable. I mean, if we think about like Amazon wasn't profitable until like 2017. I'm making up that date, so I don't know when they were profitable. But they weren't profitable for their first a lot of years. But if you had confidence that the company was going to do well, it's a worthwhile investment. So is Airbnb or any of these companies going to do well? One of the differences we pointed out as a group yesterday, the difference between these companies and the dot-com bubble is during the dot-com bubble, a company was getting, if you just owned like a domain name like song.com, you could have a valuation of $40 million, do nothing, sell nothing, have nothing, and IPO it. And that's why the dot-com boom really really happened. I remember some crazy stuff around that time, like the way companies would market themselves, things that were happening at that time. I remember there was like this one company, it was like this goofy company, I can't even remember what they did. They had some weird name, and what they were trying to do was very strange, and they had like this huge thing in San Francisco where they ran around and gave like tons of pens and t-shirts away like during their website's launch. It was an interesting time back then, but I so remember the crash and always being paranoid about the stock market since then. Not that I don't invest, I have tons of money invested in it. And I've talked about stocks that I've invested in. I actually bought some stocks this morning with my dividends. I got some dividends yesterday from Microsoft, and I think I bought some Amazon and I bought some Verizon today. I think those are the two that I put the dividends into. Anyway. Yeah, so I did that, and anyway, so it's the end of my semester right now. So semester is done. This is awesome. So excited, semester's done. So what does that mean for me? It means a few things. So first of all, it means that I can try to relax a little bit. My plan is to slowly cut down work over the next few weeks. And what does that mean? That means like starting next week, I'm going to try to do half days and see how half days go next week, and hopefully by Christmas time be doing very little work other than responding to emails. And then starting in the new year, I gotta prep my new classes. I'm actually gonna, next week when I say I'm working half days, part of what I'm gonna be doing is creating new videos. So you're gonna see new videos up on my channel. You're gonna see a lot of cool stuff, some new, so I'm teaching, next semester I'm teaching an intro to computer programming class, and I'm teaching a streaming course. So you're gonna see me creating videos on a lot of stuff about streaming, like, I have some OBS videos up there and stuff, but I need to walk my students through how to use OBS, how to do a bunch of different stuff, like use green screens, talk more about mics. And I know I have some videos up about that kind of stuff, cameras, but I'm gonna do a little more, especially directed towards a course. Talk about software, talk about different software out there, and so that's going to be coming. And the programming stuff, I'm teaching the students how to develop like a more or less a website. So the program is not really like object-oriented, like C++ or anything like that. So I'll be talking about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and adding that to Dreamweaver. I'm going to talk about things like when is Wix or any of those companies like the WYSIWYG editors, when are they good versus like programming or building a website yourself, or like doing self-hosting with WordPress. Like, what are the advantages and disadvantages of that kind of stuff? So I'm going to be talking about that. You're going to see some videos about that stuff that I'm going to do, and that should be cool. I'm excited to do that. I like those topics. Those are all those are like fun topics to me, so it'll be really cool to get to develop those videos. Like, that's fun. That's stuff I want to do. I also have some other videos I need to just develop. I just did, so I need to get back into my interviews. I kind of fell off at the end of November, and mostly because I've been super busy. I'm applying for full professor, and it's just taken up all my time, and I finally got a draft of my stuff done. So my time's freed up a little bit. So that just like basically killed me for the last like 3 weeks. I've been like just killed doing this. It was this grueling thing that I had to write up that was just taking up any free second that I had to be writing this. So my time's freed up a little bit. But I actually was interviewed 2 times. So while I haven't done an interview in a couple weeks, I was actually interviewed 2 times in the last 2 weeks. So one was with, well, I did a presentation for AERA, which is not on my YouTube channel, but they posted it on theirs. I'm actually going to do pieces of the presentation and put them on my YouTube channel and make them a little nicer than just like presenting to a group, because theirs is like a Zoom recording. I didn't want that as part of one of my videos, but yeah, you should check that out. I also did a podcast for Esports Biz Network, and I did an interview with them, which is kind of cool. It was fun. I like doing like being interviewed too. It's fun. It's cool. I like interviewing people, but I like being interviewed too. It's fun. It's cool to talk. I think it's fun. Any kind of media stuff is stuff that I like to do. So I like that. And the other thing that I'm doing, which is super unfortunate, no, not really. I did get the new World of Warcraft expansion, so I've slowly been playing that again a little bit. So that's gonna be like my game for the next little bit. Hopefully League of Legends comes out with Poro King this Christmas, which I've always enjoyed as well. So those will kind of be the two things I'm playing right now. I know there's some other cool games. Cyberpunk just came out, and others. I don't have the bandwidth to play like 20 games. I just really don't. I don't have the time, energy. I don't like paying for games. I already paid for WoW, so I try not to. I can't play everything, but that game looks really cool, pretty exciting, and I've been talking to some people who have started it this week and have some good things to say. So that's kind of cool, and yeah, so that's about the big things happening. There's been a lot of change. COVID's been changing a lot of industries, even esports. Like I've been seeing like some cool stuff happening, and interesting stuff like Blizzard, who owns World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Overwatch, shut down their college TESPA league, which is really interesting. So, and what I'm curious about though is what they're going to replace it with, because the way they're talking about shutting TESPA down is that it's being replaced with something. So I'm really curious about this rebranding and how they're doing that. I know a few other esports entities have rebranded recently, and I don't have those that has to do with like their names, something they didn't like about it, just making these that they're more online versus face to face. COVID's put a hurt on the college scene in that it's not that the games couldn't be played, it's that colleges are disorganized right now because of COVID. It's the organization. It's lack of organization from just too many schools. Even like our esports club, we did a pretty good job this semester, but I think we were one of the few. And like some schools are all online, no one's there. Our campus people were there, and our club was held together really well by our Discord server, but maybe not everyone's in that same position. So there were probably some problems. And there's lots of like spending freezes and stuff like that. So, all of that affects everything. So anyway, yeah, that's my weekly or bi-weekly update. All the stuff going on. We are planning to spend Christmas home this year, which will be different because of COVID. My parents are recovering. They technically still have it right now. So like we can't go there in 2 weeks. I think it would be a really poor choice. Our plan though is to see them. They'll maybe come here in January. It should be good. They can, now that they've had it, they should have antibodies and be able to travel and not be so concerned. And they shouldn't be able to pass it to us by that point. We wouldn't want to see them at least until they've had 2 weeks of completely symptom free, just to make sure and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to be starting next week. I'm going to have a lot more videos, so definitely check out my YouTube channel. I'm going to have a lot more stuff coming up. And I told you the topics: streaming, computer programming, type videos, making websites. Some esports stuff's going to pop up there too, and yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited. I I enjoy making the videos. I like it when people like them. Like what I'm doing. It's always good to hear from people, see the comments and stuff, or talking to people on LinkedIn about it or Twitter or whatever. It's fun. It's cool when I hear people or can help them out. I mean, that's I guess that's what I like, is I like the response. I like having someone say, hey, you help me with this, or hey, I have a question. What do you think about, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. Is I guess it's that helping portion. I don't know why. It's just in my nature or whatever. I have no idea. But it's the part that excites me about it. It's cool when like I see someone watch my video, like that's neat, and I like that. So, and I like creating stuff. Like I thoroughly enjoy making it, think about planning the video, recording the video, setting up all the lighting and making sure everything's good, and like then editing it, and then like thinking about how I'm gonna. I like the whole aspect about it. I sometimes feel like I need a production team to do each one of those steps, but like I thoroughly enjoy each of those steps too. It's kind of cool. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's it for today, and I hope everyone has a really good weekend. And yeah, that's it. So, yeah, have a great time, good weekend, all that good stuff. It's Friday is pizza night for me and my kids. Probably watch a movie. I had no idea. We're kind of like on the Christmas kick. We've been watching like Home Alone, all that good stuff. We need to watch A Christmas Story. They're probably a little too young for It's a Wonderful Life, but we need to watch A Christmas Story and all that good stuff. We've been watching all of them, all the good stuff that kids watch, and I watch as a kid, and they watch, and new stuff too that they enjoy. So, yeah, that's it. All later.